Hey guys, Jeff here, of course. So I'm going to do a video. I'm in the truck right now because it's cold and wet outside. This is going to be basically on how are you able to drive at night with an oversized load. What lighting do you need, so on and so forth. I know it's winter time now. We lose a lot of time because it gets dark early, but there are some states that will allow you to drive at night if you have the proper lighting and signs and so on and so forth. So I'm going to show you how I have my truck set up, because the last 2 evenings I drove through the night, which actually got me a lot further than I would have had I shut down at sunset like some of the states allow you. Now, you know that most, well, not most, but all of the fluid motion loads, Ranger Tug, Cutwater, Solara, they're all only 10 feet wide. And that's where the restriction brake falls. As long as you're 10 feet or less in width, a lot of the northwestern states will allow you to drive at night. But a few of them have a little more special requirement than the others. Okay, Oregon, Idaho, South Dakota, they'll let you drive at night, but you've got to have reflective signs. You have to have lights marking the widest part of the load. So that means actually on the boat. So I know that some of you have the Firefox lights with the magnets, and obviously the magnets are not going to stick to the side of the boat, but I'll show you what I made that will allow you to put them on the side of the boat. So give me just a minute to jump out, and I'm going to show you what my nighttime driving with an oversized load setup looks like. All right, so I'm outside the truck now. Hopefully it's not too loud. I had a little bit of a starting issue earlier, so I'm leaving the truck running. Everybody knows that you need flags, you know, on all four corners of the truck and so on and so forth. Now, not everybody has these lights up here on the side, okay, the flashing lights. So you can look on Amazon and you see the ones that I have in my windshield. They're like 30-something bucks. Okay, not a big deal. They have suction cups and they just stick right to the window. And I know a few of our drivers have them already, and from what I understand, they have not had an issue with DOT or anything, because it says obviously that you're supposed to be able to be seen 360 degrees for 500 feet, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so you will need flashing lights to run at night. The other thing you're going to need is these reflective signs. It's hard to really tell how reflective they are because I'm in a lit parking lot, but you can see like that right there, and you can see the fog, how wet it is. It's coming down, but those are bright. Okay, so in those states that I mentioned earlier, you'll have to have reflective signs in the front and the rear. Okay, the next thing you have to have is lights marking the widest part of the load. You need amber in the front and red in the back. Okay, so what I have are these little lights here that I got off of Amazon. And hold on. And as you can see, they're nice and bright. They're LEDs. Okay, the amber have to go in the front. The red have to go in the back. Now, let me turn this off for a second because I want to show you something else. Okay, so how did I get them to stick up there when there's a magnet on the back side and there's nothing magnetic? So it's kind of hard to see, but you see this black strip right here. Okay, it actually goes above the light too. What that is just a little piece of like mud flat. It was at the shop. I really don't know what it was, but it looks like rubber from a mud flat. So I just cut it the width of the light, and then what I did is I came in here where the bracket is and I went around it with the heavy-duty zip ties, okay, to the black, zip tied it down, and then I held it up there and I put tape across there, okay, taped it down, and it works great. Holds it on there. I'm in at the Iowa 80 right now, and I've had these on since I left Seattle. So I'm going to turn these back on for a second. All right. You come down here, and of course you guys know about all the flags you got to have. I'm not going over that. And then, okay, so this was a red light, but what I didn't really think it was red enough. It still looked a little bit amber to me, but I went ahead and got this red, you know, the red that you get it from like auto places where people bust a tail light out and they put it in place of buying a new covering for their light. So it does look much more red now than that one, you know, is much more, it's better distinguished, okay? So like I said, you've got to mark the widest part, okay? Amber in the front, red in the back. You don't have to like go to the widest. What you got to do is say, this is where my load starts getting wide, and it's wide all along here, and this is kind of where the bow starts to curve back in. And so in between these two lights, obviously, is the widest part of the load. Okay, we're coming to the back now, where I have another reflective sign. And of course, we should all have the flashing lights on our trailers. If not, we'll have to get them, you know, done. So there's a sign, and you can see how much brighter when someone's headlights would be coming up behind you, how much brighter it gets. Okay, you know, you guys have seen my videos. I have that big wooden sign. You can see the O right over there and the D. I just took my reflective sign, I taped it on each side, and then ran some bungees to keep it from flapping. Okay, so again, reflective in the back, reflective in the front. We're coming around this side, and I'm going to turn these lights on real quick here. Where are we at? Oh, this one's up top. Hold on just a second. I gotta put my light away. Okay, let's see. And these lights have, I don't know, like maybe 6 or 8 or 10 different modes of flashing. Like, you know, how much do you want it to flash? You know what I'm saying. All right, hold on. All right, so now here's another thing too. It's winter time, right? Let me pause it for a second. Okay, I'm back. So here's the thing. In the winter time, it's a pain in the butt to try to get anything to stick to these covers. You get a hole and you want to tape it up, and it's wet and you can't. Here's one of the best things that I've bought in the 20-something years of pulling boats. Okay, I got it on Amazon, and let me see if I can set it where you can see. Anyway, okay, it's a hand torch. Okay, you get these little green bottles from Walmart, and this was like, I think, 35 bucks on Amazon. Okay, so today I just put these lights back on, and you see all the wetness in the air. Okay, and the cover was dirty. All I did was wiped it off, and then I take this little torch. Let me see if I can do it while I hold the phone. Nope. Hold on a second. Okay, so you see? Now you don't want to do it like a torch. This thing will get like a torch, like hot. And you're just going to let it flutter. Okay, you wipe your cover off. Go over it with a little bit. What you're doing first is heating the cover up to accept the tape, okay? Then you put your tape on there, like I did, and you can tell, well, that light's so bright, where I went over it with my torch after I taped the light on in this foggy, wet, you know, weather, and then I went over it, you know, with my torch, you know, boom, boom, just real careful, like, you don't have to get real close. And you can tell, you can see the tape shrinking, okay, which is what you want. You want the tape to shrink. So anyway, hopefully this helps. But oh, and if you can see up there, let me see. You see that little thing sticking up? It actually poked through the cover today. It's not been above 34 degrees, okay? And I was able to get up there. You see that up there? Heat it up with my torch, clean it off with a rag, and tape up that hole that poked through from that before it tore and I end up losing the entire cover. Okay, so this little torch thing, if you want to do it and you want to invest in it, then it's really a good buy. And when you're loading at Ranger, and they bring the boat out and it's wet and you want to tape up over the slits that you made where the cleats are, that's a great thing to use. So I always have my torch out there on a cold, wet day, and I go ahead and torch the cover up the slits, and then torch them. So one more time, I'm going to do another walk around. I obviously don't have my headlights on. So again, this is what you need if you want to run at night. What advantage is that? I got loaded so late at Arlington the other day that when I started out, it was almost dark. I was able to drive through the whole night, okay, and I got 720 miles done versus the few miles I would have gotten done had I left out and shut down at night like I should have. Okay, so it's just whether or not you want to run and get more miles in a day or a night. The other thing is, those lights that I showed you, the ones that are on the side of the boat that I got on Amazon, it was about $50 for 2 amber and $50 for 2 red. But when you figure the extra miles I got to run because of it, it's worth it to me. Okay, they lasted me yesterday. I stopped and I let them run until they ran out, and I think it was a little bit over 8 hours that I got on a charge. So today, when I didn't need them to run during the day, I took them down. Hold on, I'm going to turn these off. I took them down and charged them back up. I just let them charge all day while I was running. I want to leave out early in the morning before it gets light out, which I can do in Illinois, but I want to have them on because it's dark and it's foggy and all that kind of stuff. So about 8 hours worth of flashing. If you're driving through the night, then that's going to get you 8 hours further than you would have gotten if you didn't have this stuff up. To me, it's worth the extra effort of putting all this stuff on the truck so I can drive. I'm not telling you got to do it, and if you don't want to, I'm fine with that as well. All right, so let me turn these lights off, and then I'll be done here. If you have any questions, I always say, you know how to get a hold of me. Hold on, I forget where the button is. There it is. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so there you go. All right, again, you got any questions, you know how to get me, and that's all I got to say about this.